All client names have been changed in order to respect confidentiality. Well, I think I'd just like to formally welcome you to Harambee Housing Association, namely Harambee Core and Cluster Project. Harambee Housing Association is one of the largest black-led housing associations in England, and in fact we cover or accommodate people living in the Birmingham area, which is the second largest city in England. The Core and Cluster Project then is part of Harambee Housing Association, and what the project does is actually cater for young black men and women who've had a history of psychiatric illness, whether short-term or long-term. It's an alternative, if you like, to institutionalized hospital care. The reality is that many of our residents, as we call them, have actually gone through the psychiatric system, which has basically failed them. What we see in England is a large percentage of young black men and women overrepresented in psychiatric care, namely secure units. Young black men are more liable to be sectioned under the Mental Health Act and forced to be put in a place of order, i.e. secure unit in a hospital or placed in prison. So the work of Harambee Core and Cluster Project is very, very important indeed for black service users. In saying that, there are other services that are based in the community for black and white people who have had a history of psychiatric illness. But the focus obviously today is on Harambee Core and Cluster Project. Normally we have 3 or 4 people. In fact, the morning staff and evening staff and myself, maybe an invitation from social workers, etc. We would then discuss the progress of our clients. Debbie.
Right.
Right. Pearl. Now she actually came into the project, I think, a year before my time, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
Now there were a number of concerns around her suitability to be living in the community, and a number of concerns around issues that she was dealing with. In fact, as a young black woman, she felt that she didn't actually want to be in a black project, right?
That's it, yeah.
Okay. So what's happening? How's she doing?
Well, she's coping very, very well. Her personal hygiene is very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
She's taken to the counselling. She's also looking after her hair and everything, and her dietary needs are being met.
Right.
And there was a lot of weight loss. She's looking really, really good.
How many stones was she when she came into the project?
She was 15 stones.
15 stones.
Yeah.
Okay. And was saying most of this was actually due to the increase or medication.
Medication, yeah.
And there was no actually, well, she didn't appear to be very happy within herself.
No, she wasn't. She was feeling very negative about herself and hated herself.
Right.
She didn't see anything good in herself. She didn't think it would work with black people because she'd been growing up with so many white people.
Right.
But she started to recognise what colour she was, and she used to be quite happy about that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that I suppose we've all been concerned about is the amount of time that she's spent in the institution. How long has that been?
She spent the time since she was 12 years old.
12 years old.
Till she was 22 years old, institutionalised.
So that's, what, children's home?
Children's homes and various hospitals, different units. She lived in a bungalow at one time with older people where it didn't work out at all.
Right.
And then she was back to the children's home. Then she was back to the hospital in Nottingham again.
And where's her parents?
Her parents are in Nottingham as well. Well, her real parents, she was adopted by white people. Maybe I should have explained that in the beginning.
Right.
She was adopted by a vicar and his wife, who I think, maybe it sounds a bit derogatory, I don't know, but I think they felt sorry for her. They took her on. She didn't get no counselling. She didn't get, that blackness was missing, that culture was missing.
Right.
her real parents, her mother had problems of her own, psychiatric problems of her own, and couldn't cater for her.
Right.
Her father, unknown.
Right. Right. So is her mum in this country then?
Her mum was deported straight out of Rampton after 10 years back to St. Lucia.
Goodness.
And there's been no contact between the two of them.
Right. So, oh, right. So now, I mean, we've had a few problems in that Pearl running out on the streets, right? We've got a main road just outside. And I suppose one of the real issues around the neighbours and people living in the community saying, well, you know, what is this girl doing, running out in the night, screaming? But that has changed.
That has all changed, yes.
So in a sense, we have been an establishment. We've been able to contain a certain amount of behaviour.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to be chatting with Trevor, who's I'm quite grateful that you've decided to share with me and with others, I guess, about your own experiences. We've just seen a picture of a viewing of Man Was Close, our semi-independent unit, and it's quite fitting really because Trevor is one resident that actually lives at Man Was Close. And has lived at Wellington Road and at Thornhill Road, one of our cluster units. And is a man of experience, and I'm always quite intrigued to listen to Trevor, to talk with him as he's shared in our groups. So once again, thanks, Trevor. So you've been in Harambee for some time. Just tell me about your experiences or how you came to Harambee.
I first went to a hospital in about 86 or 87, I'm not quite sure of the dates right
Okay,
now.
it was at a psychiatric hospital?
Yeah.
Right.
And I went over there. At first I didn't get introduced to Harambee, but I went back there time after time. So
okay.
I went back a second time, and then I get introduced to Harambee because I didn't have nowhere to live.
Who introduced you? Do you remember?
Well, they asked me in the hospital, because they said that I could leave out the hospital, but I need a place to live. And I was homeless at the time.
Okay.
And they come to me and introduced me to Harambee and all this because I didn't know about Harambee.
Right. So it was a hospital staff that introduced you to Harambee?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they get in touch with them, and I have to come here, live in Wellington Road for a while, live at Tarnan Road for a while, and now I'm living at Manwood Close.
Right.
Yeah.
What was it like for you when you came into Wellington Road? Can you remember?
Well, it was a strange experience still, because I never used to live around so many guys and just hanging around really, you know what I mean? Finding something to do particular, you know what I mean?
Right.
To occupy yourself throughout the time. And,
okay.
That's what I was really thinking about most of the time.
Right.
Even now I'm thinking about that,
Right.
By occupying my time.
Okay.
Find something to do,
Were you? How would you describe yourself when you came in? Were you in distress? I mean, you went into hospital because you.
Well, I wasn't feeling too good, you know what I mean? Because I started to take the medication and the injection. I don't know why, but it made me fat, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I keep blowing up, you know what I mean? And I keep feeling drowsy.
Okay.
That kind of affection, because they tell you that and the prescriptions and things like that.
Right.
When I get the medication, they tell me about drowsiness.
Right.
And things like that.
Right.
And what it can cause, you know what I
Okay.
mean?
So why do you think you moved on to Thornhill Road? Why did you leave Wellington Road, you think?
Well, they thought that I was progressed enough that I could cook for myself, and guys used to go in the kitchen and learn how to cook, to fix up a few meals and things.
Right. So you were cooking when you were at Wellington Road?
Yeah.
And then they thought you were progressing?
Progressing enough, yeah.
Okay.